There is a separate issue for Amazon chief Jeff Bezos and his battle with American media. American media now is pushing back against the billionaire's extortion claims. Take a look.
It absolutely is not extortion and not blackmail. What happened was the story was given to the National Enquirer by a reliable source that had given information to the National Enquirer for 7 years prior to this story. It was a source that was well known to both Mr. Bezos and Ms. Sanchez.
All right, we just don't know. It's still early on in this investigation here. We've got attorney Domenic Romano, who says that AMI, the parent of the Enquirer, could face a legal beatdown. What do you mean by that?
Absolutely. If you look at the section of the code 875 of what extortion is, it's an attempt to obtain something of value by making threats. This is not normal behavior for a journalistic organization or a news organization to offer basically to quash a story in exchange for a statement, a false statement, even before the Bezos team completed its investigation, that it's not politically motivated. So why would you do that unless you were trying to basically manufacture the narrative to your favor?
So, Dominic, what they're saying is AMI at the time wanted to get to the bottom of what Jeff Bezos wanted to do. He was launching an investigation into how the Enquirer got his text and photos and all that stuff. And they come along and say, you got to stop this investigation, say essentially that nothing came of it. But it's the role, I guess, of the editor, Dylan Howard, that raises my eyebrows. I'm not a lawyer, but you are. It would give no editor pleasure, he writes to the Bezos team, to send this email. I hope that sense and common sense can prevail, and quickly. That certainly sounds like a little bit of strong-arming to me, but does it meet the level of extortion?
Does it rise to the level of extortion? That's a question for prosecutors and for investigators.
Does it to you? Does it to you?
Yes, because
but there's no payment involved here. No payment involved. That's
well,
what they
it doesn't have to be pain. It's extracting something of value. They wanted him to make a false statement that was not politically motivated. The Bezos investigators were looking into the evidence. We're looking into what motivated it and where the pictures were obtained. Right? We're talking about private photos, to which Bezos is entitled to copyright protection, and private text messages. So they are saying, look, if you go out and you say that this is not politically motivated, that you're ending your investigation, then we won't publish. That kind of quid pro quo. I mean, look, if you traffic in sleaze, sooner or later you'll be brought to your knees. That's a lesson that Gawker learned, and I think that's a lesson that AMI might learn here. This is an existential crisis. The bully picked the wrong victim in this case, and Bezos is fighting back in a very clever way.
Or is he shifting attention? This would be a legitimate story for anybody if you've got the world's richest man, an affair, texts, pictures. Their lawyer, AMI's lawyer, had said, we emphatically reject any assertion that the reporting was instigated, dictated, or influenced in any manner by external forces, political or otherwise. What they're saying is, on any planet, with any media organization, this would have been a big story, you say?
Well, this is not normal business negotiations, right? This is a threat. It's a clear threat that we will do something damaging to your reputation. We intend to cause embarrassment unless you make a false statement. You say that our reports are not politically motivated. And remember, in the Michael Cohen case, for which they signed an immunity deal, which could be threatened by this, they were agents in that. They're found to be agents in that case and not actual reporters.
So you don't buy their premise. Simply put, this was and is a news story. I'm talking about AMI as a lawyer on their final take on this.
Look, Neil, it might be a news story. Right? It might be newsworthy. But the First Amendment does not protect criminal behavior. It does not give you a right to make threats of blackmail and extortion. Absolutely not.
If the first story they had already did that to Bezos, what did they have to gain from a follow-up of further embarrassment to Bezos?
Well, presumably lewder photographs and more embarrassing text messages. And in exchange for them encouraging him to make a false statement, a statement that he had no reason to be sure of unless the investigation is completed, unless you make that false statement that our reports are not politically motivated, unless you stop your investigation, we're going to print these personal photographs, which presumably have been stolen from your phone, and these personal text messages. Not very smart thing to do to the world's richest man.
They clearly did say there was more to come there, and that would be in the offing if they didn't cooperate. Domenic, thank you very, very much. Fascinating case.
Thank you.